President Trump is stepping in to try and close a deal with China. He will meet later this afternoon with China's top trade negotiator at the White House. Both sides need to work quickly here before the U.S. raises tariffs on another $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. That could happen March 1st. I've got Yahoo Finance's Kristen Myers here to help break it down. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to think it's a good thing that President Trump is meeting with this vice premier of China today.
No, it's absolutely a big sign. So a lot of the talks right now have been dominated by those lower level officials, and then Robert Lighthizer, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin getting involved in the talks yesterday. But for the president to be meeting with Liu He is a huge sign that there could potentially be a lot of progress made and that there's something substantive for the two of them to discuss ahead of his meeting with Xi Jinping.
Do you think that we might actually hear later today or over the weekend that existing tariffs have actually been lifted?
I don't think so. I think that the president is going to hold off on that. And he has said a couple of times, listen, that's not, a firm deadline. If we hear a lot of progress is being made, I'm going to push that deadline back. It seems that progress has been made, so I think that they're going to push that deadline back a little bit.
You think we can still expect Trump and China's President Xi Jinping to meet at some point, even if today's negotiations with this top trade negotiator go well?
No, absolutely. I mean, they had said that he was going to be meeting with Xi Jinping mid-March. That meeting hasn't yet been confirmed, and it's supposed to be a casual summit. But I think the two are definitely going to be meeting because they're going to have to. If we're going to see a deal, those two are going to have to come to the table and hammer out some of those last issues.
Yeah, I guess the question becomes where, because I know the U.S. wants that meeting to happen here in the U.S. I'm sure China wants it on their soil, but maybe it'll be more of a neutral place.
I think it'll probably be in the United States, but ultimately, I don't think that's going to be the argument between the two sides about where they're going to hold that meeting. I think it's really going to be a lot of these thorny issues that they still have to work over.
And let's talk about that for a moment. I mean, these talks are happening behind closed doors, so we don't really know what's being said. But where are some of the areas where there's still a gap on the two sides?
So there's issues of enforcement, right? How are they going to make sure that this trade deal stays in place, and what are they going to do if one side violates that agreement? Then there's intellectual property protections, right? China has been publicly criticized by the United States for forced transfers of technology and Chinese subsidies and opening up the Chinese economy.